Hey everybody, it's Odd Dustin. Welcome back into the Mosh Pit. I wanted to play the story this season, and so I want to give this is what happened when I played the story. You don't have to play the story if you don't want to. If you've already played through the campaign one time, you don't need to play it again. You can hit skip campaign, and I've been doing that every season since the game released, and I played the campaign through a couple of times, once alone and once with my wife. And I wanted to kind of go over what my experience was, because I wanted to play the story again this season, and it was definitely slightly different. It's still the campaign, which I feel is one of the best campaigns of any of the ARPGs out right now that are hot into the new hotness. This is a really, really good campaign, put together well, awesome cutscenes. The boss fights and stuff are super memorable. I felt like there's some like pretty moving scenes, like when Rathma is discovered by Lilith and she gets the key to hell. That whole scene is pretty moving. Like you really start to feel for Lilith in that moment, and I felt like they did a pretty decent job there. Vigo's death when he saves you and his little Iron Maiden suit of armor thing. That was also like, oh man, Vigo, no, oh, but thank you for helping us. Meeting Mashif from Diablo 2, when he made his appearance, helped us through the desert, and then when he died, that was pretty moving for me as well. Just a lot of what I wanted to experience again, I did with the campaign, and it was very, very awesome. Once again, it didn't take me too long this time. The first time I went through the campaign, it was quite a bit longer because you're doing a lot of side quests and stuff. With this, you're not really doing that. You know, if you're going to play through it again, you're not stopping at all the blue exclamation marks. You're just running through. And speaking of running through, oh my god, having the horse for the whole campaign, it made so much difference. I always felt like they held off on giving you the horse the first time you go through for way too long. And playing through the campaign with the horse and just running around fast, especially now this season, they allow you to run through the cities. Any of the main areas where you are used to slow you down. Now you can just run right through. So that helped not only speed it up, but just it felt better to be on the horse moving around from place to place when all you're doing is mainlining the campaign. That's awesome. The whole campaign took me about 7 or 8 hours. I played it a couple of sessions. I was streaming it and then offline a little bit. Didn't take too long. You know, when you look up how long does the campaign take, you're putting in a lot of work in other areas, and you're also walking everywhere. So having the horse sped that process up. The only problem I had with progression, though, because I was skipping all that side content that usually would give you extra levels and more progression, you know, you're not usually skipping all the side quests, and you're also maybe while you're walking through certain areas doing some events that you see out in the overworld, that kind of thing, which I wasn't doing any of. By the time I got to the swamp, the quest immediately went to 10 levels above where I was. It was 10 or more. I think actually there was a couple of times where it was like 11 or 12 levels above me. And that was a little bit like, oh man, should I be going out and doing some side quests? Should I go do some things? But no, I was able to push through. The build I was using and the gear that I had gotten dropped was decent enough to where 10 levels above wasn't too bad. Could get a little sketchy every now and then, just dodge at the right time and heal, but I had no issue getting through the campaign, even though it was a little bit higher level. Hell was a little bit tough. Once you get into hell, there's quite a bit more demons that are hitting with some pretty hard hits, but I still made it through that, not too bad, and at the end you get some pretty decent loot. I got the Thorn unique chestplate, the razor blade armor, which has mega thorns, and that was amazing. Things basically just hit me and die. I could just stand still and get hit with that thing on, and people would just die. So that was a fun little grab at the end of the campaign. The one huge issue, especially if you want to engage with the new tempering mechanic, is that the campaign really does not give you any gold. You're starved for gold, and you're not really getting to upgrade all your gear and do all of your tempering on everything. And it helps a ton. I found as soon as I tempered something, that bonus, really, you could feel it once you were able to temper something. And I was used to upgrading all my gear pretty much to max every time I got new gear and swapped it out. Previously, in previous seasons, and when I played the campaign before, I would just go bam, 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 over to the blacksmith and just upgrade everything. And it's not the case with the tempering due to the lack of gold. So in the campaign, you're not going to have the same kind of thing as if you just were power leveling and going straight into the Helltide, doing whispers, that kind of thing. You're going to get a ton more gold that way. So just know that you're going to be a little gold starved. It's fine, because you're just playing in World Tier 1 or 2. It's not that big a deal. In fact, if you really want to go quickly, just play in World Tier 1. I played in World Tier 2, so it might have been a little bit tougher for that because of the level differences, but it wasn't that big a deal. Missing out on some of those side quests not only give you a lack of gold and experience, but there's some pretty memorable side quests. So I would say if you're somebody that said, I don't want to do any side quests, I'm just going to do the campaign when you originally did it, I would go back and do some of the side quests. There's some pretty good ones out there. The dagger guy who loves pain and is cheating on his wife with a demon, that's one of my favorite side quests. The brothers quest, where it's a quest line where one is a thief and you have to go hunt him down and find him, and everyone in the town doesn't like that guy. I forget what that name of those brothers were, but that was pretty good. And then in the swamp there's some pretty decent side quests. So missing out on some of those side quests, it's not something that I was like, oh man, I really missed those. I mean, I could go do them again if I wanted to, but I was just trying to get through the campaign to see what's it like, and also to kind of refresh the story for myself, since the campaign's going to get enhanced with an expansion later this year. Once I beat Lilith, I ran around a little bit with the new gear, trying out the thorns, and then went directly to Capstone 1, went into World Tier 3, and I was, I want to say it was at least 10 levels, if not maybe even more. I think, yeah, because World Tier 3 is at 55 for just the general areas everywhere. So yeah, I was more like 15 levels under going into World Tier 3. But it was still pretty doable. I think that this season they just tuned it to easy for everything. And I don't know, maybe it's just my experience, and I know how to build a build that's going to do the damage I need it to do or something, but all the synergies I had going for my my Necromancer Bone build was working pretty well. And as long as you are either following a guide or you know what you're doing and you build a build that's doing the kind of damage you need it to do, moving right into World Tier 3 at 40 is no big deal. You level so fast this season that it pushed right into 40. I went over to the capstone and blasted through it. So yeah, good experience. I definitely, if you've got a spare 7 to 8 hours you want to run the campaign, you could probably just run the campaign just to experience it again on a separate character, and then just not play that character anymore. So if you wanted to blast through, do a minion Necromancer build, it's pretty much the meta right now, and blast through the campaign, you can probably experience it all. I did not skip any of the cutscenes or any of the dialogues or anything like that, because I wanted to experience it all. And man, it's just a good story. I don't know. There's a whole separate conversation on, is it a good story, and that ending with Neyrelle is a little bit, but I think that's because the expansion should at least show us what happened there. And I have a feeling that Mephisto's going to corrupt Neyrelle, and she's going to end up not having a good time because, everybody that you care about in the other parts of the campaign didn't have a good time, and so why is it going to be any different for Neyrelle? Anyway, let me know what you think. Did you play the campaign this season? Have you tried replaying the campaign in any of the previous seasons? This one seems to be a good one to do it since everybody is leveling so fast. It seems like a pretty decent time to re-experience what is, in my opinion, the best part of this game. And let me know what you think the best part of this game is down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go for it. If you like this kind of content, throw a like on the video. I'd appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next one.